There we are.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe it just got pulled out of the socket there.
That'll do it.
All right, well, let's do this again. Welcome to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm your host, Dante.
I'm your host, Deacon.
And we're here for episode 13.
Guess it isn't our lucky episode.
13, yeah, 13's not our lucky number, apparently, despite the title.
Yeah.
But ironically, like I was just saying before we realized that the sound wasn't on, as I was prepping the show notes and I was opening up all the tabs in my phone to pull up the articles and things that I referenced, I noticed there were like 13 bullet items, so who knows. All we needed was for this to be on Friday the 13th, and then it would have been like a total confluence. Then the heavens would have opened, a dark void would have appeared, and like all hell would have broke loose, right?
Yep.
Kind of like at Joe Alfano's games.
Oh, exactly.
Yep. So anyway, last week was kind of fun. We played a card game called Monsters vs. Heroes. It's Victorian age heroes like Sherlock Holmes and the whole crew. Versus classic movie monsters like the werewolf and the mummy and the creature from the Black Lagoon and so on. And if you all tuned in for that, or if you caught the video on YouTube,
you would see me kicking his butt.
Well, yeah, there was that, but really what I was going to say is you'd see my co-host here falling asleep at the wheel, like literally nodding off in his chair. It was kind of funny, actually. I think I made a clip of that, but I wasn't super happy with the clip, but I left it up there anyway. So a couple shout outs. Again, we just want to shout out to what's his online handle? Chris's online handle.
Chris, right?
Yeah. Chris is
putting me on the spot, man. I'm not good
You don't remember it? Well, you know, like after all this time now, you know, like I've been saying everybody's names, and you know, I know they got handles and it's probably what they want. But anyway, shout out to Chris, shout out to Aaron. For joining in, tuning in last week, and anybody who's been watching, we appreciate that. Shout out to Haas 00312 for following. Thanks for the follow, appreciate that. And if it's your first time tuning in, we do this every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central here on Twitch, and then we upload the VOD right away, and then we upload to YouTube as well. So check out our YouTube page. Jesus Christ. Like, there's no cutting and going back on this. That's a funny thing, unless we do it for the YouTube upload, but I'm not fucking around with all that. Anyway, check us out on our Twitch page. Check the About page, and you'll find the link to our YouTube channel there. We're also available on Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern Online. We're available on Twitter, and the Twitter handle is at @tavern_black. And we got our Discord channel up and running, and we're pretty happy about that. And the link to the Discord channel is on the About page here on Twitch, so check that out as well.
It is. We need people on there who are going to be active.
Yeah, we do.
Server's a bit, I don't know how you'd say politely. Server's a bit dead lately. We've launched it, but nothing really going on.
It is. We need to get our friends off their asses and get them over there. And so, friends, we're asking you. We need you. Please get online. I'm not going to beg for it, so check it out. Drop in if you want. If that's not your thing, we understand totally. But we got some good information there. What we do is we upload the show notes there and the links to any references, books, movies, trailers, comic books, you name it. We'll put it all up there. So, that's the first yawn. You're like, what? Nothing?
No yawning here.
I don't see that. Nothing going on here. So that's the recap. Last week we did that. It was Deacon falling asleep. It was a card game. It was a whole lot of fun stuff. We also did some stuff from the Workbench too the night before that on Friday. Got a lot painted on the goblins, and you were working on your Catachans for 40K. So this was something that I just learned about in prepping for the show this week. I read this article about Steam's 2-hour policy. I know you mentioned you're familiar with this, but for those of you who might not be, Steam has the game platform has a policy by where if you play a game that you've purchased, if you play a game for less than 2 hours, you can still claim a refund.
Or if you have the game in your inventory for less time than 2 weeks as well.
Okay, well, I don't know about that, but this article specifically addressed
avid user of the refund policy.
Okay, as an avid user of the refund policy. Yep. Here we go. Speaking from experience. Okay, well, this article specifically mentioned games that have actually been played for less than 2 hours. And they talked specifically about a game developer who was stepping away I guess it's a popular game, and because their game is only 90 minutes, it only takes 90 minutes for them to get through. They have a high instance of refunds, so it's basically driving them out of business.
Yeah.
So they won't have any operating cost, or not cost, but operating revenue for them to do updates to the game and so on and so forth.
Is that where I can't talk tonight for some reason. You talking about when people like buy a game, play through it in less than 2 hours, and then because they've played it for that long, they'll say, "Well, played the game, time to refund it, get my money back."
Yeah, which is utter bullshit. I mean, what a ripoff. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, piss off somewhere else. So anyway, that was kind of sad to read that this developer who apparently, and I'll include the link up on the Discord server, and I should have jotted that down in the article here, which is really stupid of me not to put the name of the game that they referenced. But it's just one of those things where, like, every time you have something good, some asshole's going to come along and abuse the system. So that's a shame about that. So there are a lot of things, like, speaking of, like, platforms that have streaming services and things like that, and games and whatnot. And the next one that I read was Netflix is about to begin testing of a mobile game platform streaming service.
I think I heard about that.
So, well, if you did, it's impressive, because apparently there are only 2 games that you can play, and that's Stranger Things. What is it called? Stranger Things 1984, and Stranger Things 3, but only if you're in Poland. So, for those of you who are keen observers and have been watching the show for the last month, this is probably like the 6th time Poland has come up.
Yeah.
Poland's the bomb, apparently. Like, they got it going on with the tech stuff. Apparently.
The tech stuff.
The tech stuff and the gaming stuff. I would based on, like, all the miniatures that we've been buying that have coming out of Poland. But so it's a very, very limited test market, and Netflix is dropping all kinds of, like, COIA, cover your ass sort of statements, like, well, this is the first step in a long road ahead, and we'll roll it out later. But, with a company with that kind of money, you'd think that, I don't know, maybe they could roll out in a bigger area, multiple areas where they could test it.
I don't see why they wouldn't, too. You get more people to test it.
Well, that's exactly right. You have different usage markets, and, you never know, like, sort of what's going to happen here in the States versus over in Europe versus wherever else they're offering their service. So that was interesting. I'd be curious to see how that works out. Because if that's the case, they have a huge captive audience already of subscribers that they could capitalize off of.
Oh yeah.
2 of them sitting right here that I know would probably use the service.
Yep. Totally.
So
I don't see why you wouldn't either. That's like, you pay like an upgraded version, like what, $5 more, something like that, and you can just play games every month. Well,
that's the thing. They didn't give a lot of details in the article about what the details of the service entail. Whether there's going to be an increase in price, or if it's a separate service, or if it's all going to be bundled into the same monthly fee. I think personally it would be kind of cool if they bundled it into the same monthly fee, but whether or not that's going to happen,
I don't know.
Probably not likely.
I hope they just make it either a separate service entirely, or like an upgrade that you can choose to, because I think that just bundling it into the same fee would be a bad choice, because you've got like a ton of people who just use Netflix. Like Grandpa uses Netflix, right? He's not going to be out there playing Call of Duty Cold War or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. So if you just increase the price for the main subscription, now you're going to have people who are paying like however much more a month for something that they'll never use.
Yeah. That's the well, I mean, I guess that's part of subsidizing the cost of upgrades to the services. You have to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to tell your customer base, this is available to everybody. You don't have to use it, but it's available. We're making it available in order to make this an easier operation for us to run. We're going to launch it, and we're going to increase the price of your plan. If you don't like it, thank you. It's been good having you as a customer. Part ways. And I know that sounds cold, but here's the thing. The argument that you just made is the same argument that people make about public schools. I don't have kids. Why should I pay tax money to send kids to public school? Communities are built on helping each other out and supporting other people in the community. Like, if you can, you should. Like, if you're making more than you could possibly ever spend in your lifetime, you know, if you want to take it to your grave, that's fine, Scrooge McDuck, you know, more power to you. But we're talking like pennies on the dollar of a cost for something. And you look very confused, like you're not quite convinced or you're not quite sure what I'm talking about.
I don't get the correlation between streaming or renting video games and paying taxes towards public schools, because they're also very different things. But there's also a big difference in saying, like, I don't want to put my money towards something more useful like public schools versus saying I don't want to spend money on video games. Because, I mean, if somebody just says, hey, I don't want to spend money on video games, you know, chances are you'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever, it's your choice.
So the correlation is, it's the same thing but in a different form. There are people who are going to say, well, I don't play video games, so I don't want to spend any more money. And yet, at the same time, it's like, if you have Amazon Prime, your price has gone up, and they keep adding things to it. I don't use Prime. You use the Prime, or not Prime,
Twitch
Prime. The Twitch Prime account on there, you know, because, you know, initially it was geared towards kids or whatever, and I said, hey, you should take advantage of this. But I don't use the grocery service. We did at one point, and it was like not really worth it because it had its issues. But it's the same thing. I'm still paying the price because we use it for everything else. So there are direct correlations to that. Amazon Prime might be a better correlation than tax money to public schools, but it's the same principle. Everybody, you'll have the people that will say, okay, well, this is the service that they're providing. It's just another benefit that you get with it, and even though we might not take advantage of it, this is what we got to pay if we want to be part of Netflix. I get it. I get your, you know, ambivalence about it, but it's sort of like when you're a software maker, you can't at a certain point afford to keep making 57,000 different versions just because Joe Blow doesn't want to, you know, support this feature that's in it. You know, it's like, get in line. You're one of like how many tens or hundreds or millions of people, you know, tens of thousands of, you know, people or whatever.
I get that, but like, at the same time, I feel like that could be a bad decision for them as well, because then you start having people unsubscribe, and I think
it could be.
There are a lot more people who, I mean, it also depends on how much more they charge for it. Like, I could see it being part of the same program if it's no charge, like you don't pay anything extra for the service overall, but you pay per game. So like, instead of $5 a month for X amount of games, you might pay $5 a month for a specific game, and if you want to pay for, like, if you want a second game to play, that's another $5 a month or whatever, you know?
Sure.
So like, if they're doing it per game rather than just for the whole service, then I could see just adding it into the same software or whatever. But I think that if you roll it into the same software and you start charging people more, like $5-10 a month, whatever, I don't know how much it would be, then I think there are a lot more people that would unsubscribe from that. Maybe. Because they don't use it, rather than...
I don't know if I'd say a lot. I mean, I agree that there are probably a pool of people that would unsubscribe, you know, but...
I guess I'm saying, like, I think there would be more people that would unsubscribe from it than just keep paying and not use it.
Sure.
Because I don't know their numbers, I don't know their data, but I think from what I've seen that... I mean, there's a fairly decent spread of who uses Netflix. You've got, like, older people, kind of like middle-aged people, and younger people. And I think that younger people might not have enough money because rent's fucking expensive. You know?
The rent's too goddamn high.
Yeah. It's like all of that rent, utilities, whatever the fuck. I was looking at that stuff. It's expensive. So they might say, hey, I can't pay another $10 a month for this.
Yeah.
Because it's already like, what, 10? Didn't it go up to like 14 or something like that?
Oh yeah, it's like between I think $14 and $16 a month.
So that'd be like, instead of that, it'd be $24 to $26 a month for that. And then older people who might just say, hey, I don't know what a video game is. I don't want to play that.
Watch the ages in there. No, I get it. Like, there are other ways of saying that. There are better ways of saying that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, old older people, or old people. It's you're either a gamer or not. You're not a gamer. Like, you either play games or you don't play games. So the people who don't play games wouldn't have an interest. Now, this is all speculation.
There's only
we don't
two
know.
types of people in this world.
There are only two
and
types of
non-gamers.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know what the price plan is because they didn't mention any of that. So this is all speculation.
Yeah.
Is it a smart model? No, it's not. Like, because if you raise the price on something and you say we're going to throw this in there, but we're raising the price, yes, you're right. You're going to lose some people. Lose some people. But I think you can't discount the fact that you're also going to gain a whole bunch of people who will say, oh, well, now you have this middle level who sort of ride the fence, and they're doing Hulu, or they're doing Tubi, or they're doing all the other news stations that are on Peacock.
That they offer this extra
now that they've got this extra thing for a little cheaper than probably going to PlayStation Network.
Exactly.
And they're like, hey, I can get it all bundled. Bam, there, and they save a little bit of money. So, I mean, it comes out in the wash one way or another, but, it'll be, this is why I say it'll be interesting to see how Netflix handles this.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to remember, they got to build out their network infrastructure to support, a whole hell of a lot of people renting games.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if the thing will be, you download them or what it'll be, there's got to be some sort of, control there so that,
What I was seeing was, this is not for Netflix. I can't remember what this was for, but it was a similar program that I was looking at a while back. It was a game rental, effectively. You could download it onto your computer, and basically what they would do is you pay them however much per month, and you don't install the game to your computer. They have they effectively have ghost machines that are running them. And you effectively open up the remote control desktop software.
Yeah.
You effectively open that up, so you're controlling another computer that already has the game installed.
That's terrible. Virtual machines like that over a network are so bad as a model for that.
So
and even though
I didn't look into how not how it worked, but how well it worked for them, because I just didn't really care that much. I already had most of the games that I wanted to play, so I didn't look into that anymore, and that was a few years ago, but that's a way of doing it. Maybe not a smart way, but it's a way of doing it for sure. And that would certainly, I think, save a whole lot of trouble in figuring out, how do we get people to download the games once they're done? Do we download it right from here? How do we manage what console they have it on?
Yeah.
If they have it I can't talk. If they have it on a computer, how do we stop them from just downloading it and then pirating it after that or whatever, taking the files?
Right. Yeah, it's got to be a partial load or something. And then time restricted access or something. But I mean, who knows? Because right now, for let's just call it $15 a month, you can go on there and watch Nicolas Cage as much as you want. And there's no restriction other than as many hours as there are in a day.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone was going to say anything about. We noticed that you've watched this Nicolas Cage movie 57 times in the last 3 days.
There is a funny story about a person whose kid really liked the B movie, and they got a notice from Netflix that was it was either the B movie or Shrek, and I can't remember which one. But they got a notice from Netflix that was hey, are you okay? You've watched this movie 300 times now. And it was just their kid watching it over and over.
I think I remember you telling me about that. So anyway, that's an interesting development, because it shows sort of it's no secret to anybody who is into games. It's a huge industry. And a lot of these companies are starting to wake up now and saying, we're missing out on that market.
Yeah.
We need to tap into that. I'm surprised, frankly, that Amazon hasn't gone full on with that kind of a thing.
They have, pretty much. They've got their Amazon game platform or whatever it's called, which goes through Twitch Prime, so you can buy and I'm not sure about rent.
See, this is what I'm saying. I don't use it, so I don't know. I don't know what's out there.
I don't either, but I went to look for a game that I had on Twitch a while back, and it was go download the Amazon platform. And it's I don't really want to put any of their software on my computer. So,
fair enough. Yeah. So, in other streaming news, Warhammer Plus.
Yes.
Now, you told me about this the other day. You were super excited about it, and you even
Kind
asked,
of
like,
excited.
well, okay, you seemed a little more excited because maybe you were excited to get me to buy it.
I was very excited
the question
to the prospect
was, like,
of you getting to buy it.
what do you think of subscribing to the Warhammer Plus thing? And I said,
you see, the way
I think my answer was,
Yeah, the way that you originally phrased it when they announced Warhammer Plus sounded a lot like, "Hey son, we should we should get a Warhammer Plus subscription. I'd love to pay for that." But now you see, I brought it up, and you said, "So when you pay for that," and I lost interest from there, but that wasn't the main reason that I was losing interest.
No, they have a phrase for that. It's called delusions of grandeur. No, but in all honesty, I don't remember. I don't respect. No, it's not called being cheap. And actually, I'll address that head on, like this article did. So this article that I read today, and I believe it was Polygon, and they were talking about how like it launched to what they would consider pretty crappy fanfare. Like there were a lot of people saying, "Where's the beef?" Because for a streaming service, the content was woefully lacking. They have two shows that are up there. It's Angels of Death and Hammer and Bolter. That's right. But between the two animated series, there are only 4 episodes. So two episodes apiece. You know, and then people were sort of like, but they did. The GW was quick to say, you know, oh, we'll have it. This was funny. I got to read this quote to you because I love the way they said it. They said, "New animations are set to arrive almost every Wednesday." Almost,
yeah.
You know, it's kind of like GW's product rollouts.
Yeah.
You know, 16 years later, Tau get an update finally or whatever.
Look, the new Tyranid models. It's only, look, the new Dark Eldar models. It's only been
30 years or whatever. Yeah.
21 years since the newest ones before that were, I think, just 2000.
Yeah.
On the dot.
They did.
So,
but they did give the author of the article did give high marks to the Master Series, the painting series on there, the Master Class. And then they talked about some of the other services that come with it, but it kind of felt like for that for that money and for that long of a wait, you know, like they should have had like BAM instead of content light, you know.
Yeah.
The diet version.
That's kind of why I had my reservations about subscribing to it. Was the Hammer and Bolter off the start, they only had an episode of each, just at the start. Mm-hmm. But they are, at least from what I understood about those, they are releasing new episodes every week, and trying to stick. God. What I was reading was the almost every Wednesday part of that came as there are new episodes every Wednesday and a new show almost every Wednesday. So they will have consistent releases, but on top of the episodes for shows that they've already put out, they'll also almost every Wednesday be putting out a new show, because they did say there are like 15 to 20 shows in total that they're going to have on there. From all sorts of different animators.
And full disclosure, the author could have been just like had a wild hair up their ass and been impatient, because they kind of made it sound like, well, are we going to have to wait to be strung along all year long? Yeah. Not strung out like a junkie, but well, maybe, you know, if you can't get your fix fast enough on Warhammer. So waiting for a whole year for a series to come out, because everybody's used to being able to binge watch, you know. So anyway, it's just, I laughed at that quote, you know, almost every Wednesday. It's like saying we almost did something great. But I wish them the best. I mean, there's some really cool looking stuff there, and from what you described and what the author of this article described, some of the stuff is just amazing, you know. So good for them. Happy for them.
So what I was gonna say was, the other thing that I was a bit cautious about with subscribing for Warhammer Plus is their painting masterclass and the battle reports that they do. And those seem great. I've heard really good things actually about the painting masterclass, but as far as that and the battle reports go, that's not really something that I would want to pay for, even if it's just $5 a month, because there are so many good channels on YouTube, and there's so many that I watch, and I can get countless painting videos for all sorts of things that I don't have to wait for every Wednesday for, and I can get God knows how many battle reports just free,
Right.
And I don't have to pay for them at all.
Right.
So that's kind of like, okay, I'd subscribe for the animations, and I know it's cheap, but I'd subscribe for the model too because it is pretty fucking cool, but the painting and the battle reports I can and do already watch for free, and I just don't see the point in paying for that.
Yeah,
so.
and the battle reports were one of the things that they didn't really give that high of marks to, and maybe it was because, I don't know, they weren't that into it. But total non sequitur. I'm hearing a kitty at the door. Do you want to let her in? Should we let her
Maybe in a bit. All right. I was thinking of going up and grabbing something in a minute, but back to the battle reports. The one thing that I think they could do that would make me want to watch the battle reports more than just any other battle reports on there are I don't know how many people we have on the audience that watch a whole lot of 40k battle reports on YouTube, but if you've ever seen the channel Play on Tabletop, they do a series called 40k in 40 minutes, and they do a whole lot of other stuff as well. But if they had battle reports that were that quality or a higher quality, that's what I would want to see, because in those battle reports that they do, they bring out, each time they bring fully painted armies. So like every miniature in the army is fully painted. It's got the decals, it's got the base all done up, the rim of the base is painted black, and they look amazing seeing it out on the tabletop.
Do you want to grab my phone?
Yeah, I
Thanks.
do actually.
It's got an alarm going off here in the background. Just grab it and bring it over here.
But one of the things that I think really makes their battle reports great is they have a ton of terrain out for all the games, and they have a ton of really cool and unique terrain. So, like, they had this battle that took place on a floating airbase, effectively. And it was really cool because it wasn't just like, well, actually, you're inside the hangar of the airbase, so here's a generic, hangar mat with some crates and all that lying about. They had these, like, I don't know what they were. They were they were like industrial walkway tiles and big industrial walkway squares, and they made like a layout of that, and then they put I think it was just cotton balls that they kind of fluffed apart, and they stuck LEDs in them in random places, and they made it look like it was floating in the clouds, and made it look like there was explosions and smoke underneath the clouds, with random LEDs just kind of going.
That's neat.
So stuff like that, if they really just put a ton of effort into it, like fully painted armies.
It's GW. I mean, they're going to be painted.
Oh, totally. That
to the
metal
nth
guys.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah, to the heavy metal standard.
Yeah.
Because that's the team. But if they have the fully painted armies, just out of this world, literally, it's 40k, but out of this world terrain, and then I would consider watching it. But also, like, I think the biggest part of that is the people the people playing the armies, because I mean, I'm sure there are going to be people just watching it to see, like, what army wins or whatever, to see how an army does. But, like, I think for the most part, it's safe to say that a lot of people would be watching it for the people playing it, for, like, the interaction there.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like the reason you play. You go for a social thing, unless you're that guy who tries to just win every single game. But I think they really need to get, like, good people on for playing it. And one of the best ways I think they could do that is reach out to content creators on YouTube and say, hey, would you like to come on for, like, a one-off episode for playing a battle report on here?
Well, I mean, I think that's a really cool idea. I think they'd have to do it virtually, because this is produced in the UK, isn't it? So it's not impossible, but interestingly enough, one of the things that the author of this article was complaining about was the battle reports, where he said there was a lot of dice rolling, a lot of just straight overhead, face down to the table shots with a lot of dice rolling, and that's all you could really see. He said, and I really wondered, like, with the way all these miniatures are painted up so beautifully, why not get some cameras down at the table level so you can see some of the play and some of the,
I can understand it is weird that they wouldn't have just focus on the miniatures as well, because it's GW. Their miniatures are going to look out of this fucking world.
Yeah, and if you want to get somebody hooked on plastic crack,
totally.
Show them what they look like painted up by the heavy metal team.
Yeah.
You know?
Just show them that and you're good. They're set for life. But, like, at the same time, it's a battle report. I don't think you should be that surprised that there's going to be a lot of just, dice rolling.
Yeah.
You're playing a game of 40K. That's, like, the biggest part of it.
Admittedly, never really a big fan. I've never really been a big fan of battle reports. Like, and I'll go back to, like, an early example. When we first moved here to Wisconsin, and I was going to the local game stores, and I started taking Dante's game from store to store and running it, and really started off at Misty Mountain, and that's where I met most of the crew that we still know today, made some really good friends there. But I would have other friends that they weren't able to make the game and say, can you post a battle report online? It's like, I could, but it's like kind of blogging, like writing a story. It was a lot of work, and they're, no, you just have to do this and this and that. And I never really got into the idea of having a formulaic sort of like, in this episode we did this and this player did this and this. It's just never been my thing,
Yeah.
Each to their own. I'm not
that's why
the
battle reports that I watch generally, they do it not live like we're live, but it's recorded, but they will record the game itself, while they're playing.
Sure.
And specifically the one that I've been watching the most of, Play on Tabletop, which I know I'm not really, can't remember what our stance is on doing shoutouts for channels and all that, but I would definitely recommend watching them if you want some good background content. Their battle reports are really cool because they do it almost like Crusade, just without using the actual Crusade rules. So, like, all of their battles, whatever they're doing, there's a backstory to it. Like, they did, I think it was Season 3 championship tournament or whatever. They were fighting over a Xeno relic on this planet, and you needed to win 2 games. There was, it was a bracket, so it's 2v2 and a 2v2. So the first game, the first player's game would be to fight over who can find this, like, digital map of where the relic is. And then the second one is whoever wins gets control of the Archaeotech key to open it. And they kind of do it like that. And it's really cool. But a lot of it is less focused on the game and more focused on, like, the people playing the game. And all that, and I think that's what makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, so, I agree, and personalities have a lot to do with it, and camera presence, and that, and being able to roll with punches, and it's hard to run a game for that long on video. Even when we're not doing video and we're just playing a Warhammer 40K game, there's a lot of like boring, like, let me look this rule up because we're no experts,
not at all.
So that's something to look for. Like, that's if you're a Warhammer 40K fan, check that out. It's Warhammer's new streaming service, and again, we'll put the links up to the article on Polygon. Let you be the judge what you think about it, and the YouTube channel that you mentioned. Yeah, absolutely. If you wanna plug them, I was looking the one time I didn't bring my pen down here to have handy to take notes while we're streaming. I was gonna write that down, just a reminder to put the URL to their YouTube channel up on Discord after.
Yeah,
I can do that if you just want to.
Yeah.
Just shoot it to me on Discord, or if you want to post it, What else is going on? So, this was a good story. This is a story that made me happy. I'm a curmudgeonly bastard by nature for the most part. I'm actually a really kind-hearted, loving person, friendly, happy-go-lucky. I really am, but I bitch a lot, and I'm not gonna lie. But this is a story that made me happy, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So Niantic, who puts out Pokemon Go, made an announcement that they were going to take away all these features that they had put in place for the pandemic to make it easier for people who are isolated to play the game. So they increased the distances for gyms and for
Pokestops, right?
Pokestops. Yep. And so people went absolutely bananas over this, and they're like, "This is fantastic because I have mobility issues and it's hard for me to get around, and I have a wheelchair and I can't go to where some of these places are. But now that you've increased the distances, I can, go out there and play the game." So it was a fantastic thing. Then, like a couple weeks ago, as I don't know what they were thinking. Like the pandemic hasn't gone away. We're going through the Delta variant. I'm not going to harp on that, but Niantic decided in their infinite wisdom, we're going to take those features away because they were just temporary for the pandemic. It's like, okay, hello, pandemic's still here. So many people complained about it. And we talked about that on the show. That they started feeling pressure. Well, they've announced finally this week they gave in, and they decided that they're going to put those measures back in place. So if you have mobility issues, or you're just limited in terms of where you're able to get around to, in general, even if it's not just a personal physical mobility challenge, just know that Niantic is going to put those back in place, and then recognizing that yes, this does make it easier for people to play. It makes me happy. I just wish they would have not done the thing in the first place, and not made that big stupid mistake that they were going to do it. It's like sometimes the people who enact these policies or decide they're going to do these things, I don't know, like if they woke up with a bag over their head one day and just were blind to everything that's going on around them and who their customer base is, again. So that's a good, happy thing.
Yeah.
And there was another really cool piece of news. Comics. I've been sort of like touching base with comics again and what's going on in the comics world. And full disclosure, full admission, I am by no means like a total comic book nerd. I read them when I was growing up as a kid. I read them as an adult today. I read graphic novels, but I'm not, hardcore fanboy Kevin Smith level, know all the characters and all the plot lines and the issues and all the publishers. I see a comic, if the cover catches my eye and the storyline seems like it's pretty good, I'll buy it and I'll read it, And I may read a couple issues, but I may not necessarily dive in and try to collect the whole series. It's just, I don't know, that's how I am. But this made me happy also. So for the first time in 15 years, the DC universe is going to get its first LGBTQIA plus character character. I hate to call him a sidekick, but that's what he is, in 15 years, and that's Batman's sidekick, Robin. So Robin's coming out of the closet, and the premise of the issue is that he's having these internal struggles with this arch nemesis, and then somewhere along the line he has this vision of this thing that happens with the arch nemesis, and then he realizes, oh, that's why. And the arch nemesis helps sort of, from what I understand, move Robin along the path to finally admitting that Robin's gay. So when Robin realizes this, right around that time, the arch nemesis asks him out on a date, and he accepts. So I think there's a weird plot twist in there because I don't think it's really an arch nemesis. I think it's a perceived arch nemesis.
Well, who is it?
They had a name like...
It's not the Joker, is it?
No. Oh. It was a weird name like Humphrey or Humbert or something like that.
Humphrey.
I can't remember. But it's in the article. We'll post the link up there.
You have to be an arch villain if you're named Humphrey.
But so that's kind of cool. It's nice to see that they're supporting it. Do you know, incidentally, who the first LGBTQIA plus character was in the DC universe?
Don't tell me, because it's like right on the tip of my tongue. I think I know, but I'm not sure. Superman, wasn't it? No.
Catwoman.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 15 years ago. So, I think we need to see more of that kind of thing in the comic books, where the storytellers and the illustrators are more supportive of that, and they start breaking through some of the bullshit that's out there from some of the fans.
Yeah, I just hope they do a good job with it at least.
Yeah.
I mean, DC Marvels when they tried to do it, like a year
No,
or two ago.
I remember reading some stories about the characters. Some characters were retroactively going to be coming out as trans or lesbian or gay.
So they, at first, they tried to just go back and change stuff, like, oh, this character is blank now, and people were like, don't do that. You don't have to. Even I think Stan Lee was against that because he was saying like, you shouldn't have to change a character just for the sake of inclusion when you could just add a new character because there's always room for more superheroes in the world. And then they decided, okay, we'll listen to them. We'll add new superheroes. So they added 2 new LGBTQ superheroes named Snowflake and Safe Space. So, yeah. I'm not making that up.
Are you serious?
I am not making that up.
What kind of major fucking blunder clusterfuck is that? Wow. I don't get speechless very often, but that's pretty crazy. And again, this is, testimonial to, like, I'm not a hardcore fanboy on comics. I'm really not. I see stories that catch my eye. If I have an interest in them, I take an interest. This I'm fully supportive of, but oh my god, I didn't even know about that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they get their shit together. I mean, like it's worse than I could have thought, because I was going to say, what, were they really tropey? Were they really stereotypical?
Well, they were, but also the name was just the worst part of it. So
God, no kidding. So anyway, check that out. It's part of a series called Batman Urban Legends. And interestingly enough, the name alone is sort of like, I had to go back and reread the article and make sure it wasn't like, are these supposed to be spin-off comics that are not really true? They're urban legends. But no, it's not that kind of urban legend. It's just, that's the name of the series, Urban Legends. But what's cool about the concept of these is they have multiple creative teams that collaborate in this kind of like the way they did the Thieves World series with multiple authors. They'll take a scenario that's happening in the DC universe, that's an ongoing scenario, and then they'll all collaborate in an issue, in one of these Urban Legends issues, and carry out with one. Yeah, exactly. So you get to see it from different perspectives.
That's really awesome.
And then, like, it might seem like it's different timeline, but that's only because you're looking at it from a different person's perspective of events, and they might not have knowledge of everything else that's going on. So, yeah, I really like when teams do that. I think we need to see a lot more of that, and a lot more of that kind of collaboration in fantasy and sci-fi, and I think we'd see a lot more diverse creation.
And also, it'd just make a whole bunch of good content to watch. So
yeah, it really would.
Presumably good, at least.
It would, because you're not just. I could understand how, like, as an individual, being solely responsible for writing storylines for a comic all the time, or for a series of novels. My Robert Lynn Asprin story is a good example of that. When we just talked about that a couple weeks ago on stream. My story about meeting Robert Lynn Asprin in New Orleans, in the French Quarter, and then drinking with him all night and shooting pool with him, literally from sundown one night to sun up the next morning. But he was working on the Myth series, writing the Myth series, and he said he was sick of it by the time he was deep into it, and I could understand that. So on another thing that was interesting on the comic book front, and we mentioned this very briefly a couple weeks ago, is the Warhammer 40K. I want to keep saying fantasy, but it's not. Warhammer 40K Sisters of Battle comic books, and those are kind of sputtering, and I kind of hinted around to that the first time because I was reading some of this, and then I saw a new article that came out. And the problem, it seems like, according to this author, is that they're playing it too safe with the content. And you've got this kick-ass outfit of women that are kicking ass and kick-ass. They're out there like kicking ass and taking names, but in a very white 40K universe. And even though GW is trying, like, making token initiatives to make the universe more inclusive with characters of color and whatnot, the author was alluding to this feeling too much in this. These are my words, my interpretation, but too much in the safe zone, if you will, instead of really going on. The hero or heroine is really ambiguous. Like you don't know who the hero or heroine is in the series, and unfortunately, it's still a lot of the like, male-driven sexist tropes with the 4-inch ceramite. I don't know how you pronounce it. Ceramite
Yeah.
and adamantine heels, and tight-fitting clothes and all that. So, hopefully they can kill some of those tropes. But what's interesting
Well, those
is...
are just, that's just... I mean, yeah, it's a trope for sure, but I was going to say, that's how the models are as well.
I know, but that's not an excuse.
No, I'm not saying it as an excuse.
I know you're not.
It's
I know
still
if anybody,
a trope, but like...
Yeah, I know. If anybody, you wouldn't say that, but like... I get it, but it's all a fantasy, though. Like we haven't evolved in fantasy to get past the chainmail bikinis and stuff, which we could do like a whole episode on. Just the ridiculousness of that.
Whole episode where we wear chainmail bikinis. I don't know if that would get people to follow.
I'll bet it would. I'll bet we'd blow up in a heartbeat in a real hot minute. But what was interesting, I thought you might find this interesting about this, was Kieran Gillen, who did the Marnius Calgar comic. He's collaborating with the team that's writing and illustrating this comic, but sadly, as much as that one took off, that's a huge hit as far as comics go, as far as what the critics are saying. But sadly, it sounds like even though he's helping them with this Sisters of Battle comic, it's not having the same level of impact.
I'd want to read it for myself just to make that decision.
Sure.
Because I was hearing the same stuff about that as the Marnius Calgar comic. Because, I mean, let's be real. It's the 40K fan base. You've been on the Facebook groups. They love the hobby to death. But every time GW puts out something new, you can't get them to love it. You know how they are.
Sure.
So the Marnius Calgar comic, I liked it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite comic by far, but I definitely liked it. But if you read any of the comments from those posts, they're just like, "Oh, this comic sucks. This story sucks. This art sucks. This whatever." So I've started taking, unless they have actual unless it's a model and they're showing off the model and saying, this is what I don't like, and I can see that and go like, oh yeah, I don't like the way that's sculpted or designed or whatever either, then I've just started taking stuff like that with a bit of a grain of salt, because at that point it's like, what, $6 for an issue? Go out, pick it up, just read it for myself, and if not, whatever, it's $6.
I totally agree. I try to reserve judgment, and when I read, full disclosure, when I read these reviews and articles, I find them interesting because you're looking at you're getting one person's perspective or opinion on this particular subject, and I may know different things based on our experience. Like, I know that you collect the comic, and I know you happen to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. It's on my list of things once I get through all my Iron Maiden comics
and all
that I haven't touched.
Other stuff.
Yeah. So it's there. It'll get read. Eventually it will. I should just sit down. They're small. They're really easy to get through.
Yeah.
But one of the points they were making was, like, it's Warhammer, so of course most of it's visual, and there's very little storytelling and dialogue to it. Because the impact is more of a visual impact than a cerebral kind of a thing. But I get that. That's the article, the author of the article explaining it. But for GW to continue to toe that line, that's kind of crazy, because they produce and work with people who produce literally over 100 novels in a storyline. So the content is there. They could beef these things up if they wanted. I think they're trying to, again, play it safe, get into the market, see how it does, and not go over the top. Like, some of the shit you tell me about the 40K Pantheon and the 40K lore is unbelievable. Some of it's gross.
Unbelievably dark.
And dark and grim.
Yeah.
It's grim and dark.
Very, yeah.
So if you're a 40K player, you'll totally get that.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying. There is, I think, definitely a line to be towed there between, like, how in the groups that buy Marvel because they're trying to, I think, obviously get them to buy the comics too, trying to get new people into the hobby. How far or how much can they put in their comics without making it like too over the top and just like impossible to get into just by picking up the comics? Because you could say like, okay, well, here is a group of battle nuns that are 10,000 years, not the nuns themselves, but here's
really
a group that's
violent nuns.
Incredibly violent nuns, which the group is like maybe 10,000 years old, however old it is, I can't remember, fighting these, I don't know what they're fighting, chaos, gross demonic creations that have like even longer histories, and we could like go into all the detail on how this all works, but you don't want to read that.
Right.
So we're gonna like fill it with explosions and fire and purging in holy fire and 4-inch high ceramite heals and even more, and adamantium, and even more heals and fire and whatever. So
chainmail bikinis with machine guns. Yeah.
See, I think the only way that you can do the chainmail bikini thing right is by doing it like they did in Kung Fury with was it Barbarossa or whatever, the Viking barbarian riding the T-Rex with the dual M60s.
Yeah.
That's like the only way that you can do it right.
Kung Fury.
That movie was insane. All right, what do you think about calling it here and switch over to the Workbench? It's about 8:55.
Let's go to 9. Let's go to the top of the hour.
All right.
Because I just got a couple more things I wanted to run through real quick.
Save them for tomorrow.
And,
have stuff to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, we could do that as well. Okay, why don't we do that then?
Yeah.
We're going to, so for those of you watching out there, we're going to take a little break real quick like we do every week. 15-minute break. When we come back, we're going to be broadcasting from the Workbench. And where work continues for me, at least on the goblins that I was working on. And I'm not sure
what the hell I'm doing. No.
Okay.
I've got...
I'm sure you'll find something.
Yeah, I'll grab something.
We're back in a few.
timed perfectly. And it switched.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm your host, Dante.
I'm your host, Deacon.
And we are broadcasting from the Workbench.
We are.
So if you're tuning in for the first time, what we do, the first half of the show, we call Fireside Chat, where we sit around and bullshit mostly about nothing. Once in a while, we'll have something that we think is pretty cool to share with you, which is usually every week, we hope. And then the second half of the show on Friday nights, we broadcast from our Workbench, where we do kit bashing, painting, and all kinds of fun hobby-related stuff. Then on Saturdays, it's sort of like rinse, repeat, except the second half of the show is not so much a repeat. We do Fireside Chat for the first half of the show, and the second half of the show on Saturdays we bring to you from the Battle Zone, a.k.a. our gaming table. And then last week we played a game called Monsters vs. Heroes. It was a card game. It was pretty fun. And tomorrow I think we're going to be playing Lord of the Fries. And we're going to have a... what's that?
What's in your mouth? What are you eating?
Sorry, we're having an off-camera crisis here with our little game room mascot, Zuzu. She's our kitten, and she's running around chewing on something. Hopefully it's not a plastic mini. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be playing Lord of the Fries. And we will have a guest, like we have a guest right now. Who's Zuzu? Say hi, Zuzu. We're going to have a guest that we had here a couple weeks ago named Griffin. That's Deacon's boyfriend. So he'll be here joining us for the stream Saturday night. So tune in, 8 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/Black Dragon Tavern. Of course, if you're watching this, you know that. And if you are watching this, give us a follow. We super appreciate it.
I was going to say, or drop a message in chat at the very least. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We are not shy. We love to chat with people who are, online watching. So don't lurk. Pop in. Check us out.
Yeah.
If we make you smile, if we make you laugh, again, give us a follow. We appreciate it. We're also available on almost all the socials. We got a Discord server. You can get to the link for that on our About page here on Twitch. You can follow us on Instagram at Black Dragon... I can't even talk anymore. Black Dragon Tavern Online. You can follow us on Twitter. The Twitter account's at Tavern_Black. And then, of course, we're on YouTube as well. And then you can get the link for the YouTube off of our About page on Twitch. That's another one of those ones that got a weird URL because we don't have a vanity URL for that. We're also on Facebook, too.
We are. Just Black Dragon Tavern.
Yep, Black Dragon Tavern. And we do like a lot of our event postings there and stuff.
Yeah.
When I can remember to do it.
So, give me a sneak peek. Tomorrow, Lord of the Fries. Are we playing the base game, or is it time? Are we finally breaking out the Mexican restaurant expansion?
I think it's time.
I think it's time as well.
I've been like on a Mexican food. Yeah. I've been on a Mexican food kick for weeks now, and if we're gonna break that game out, I think we do have to get those cards.
Yeah, it's been long enough, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
What are you working on tonight?
Well, big surprise, the goblins, and it's going along okay, but I haven't been painting in between sessions. So between streaming sessions, that is. So I haven't really made a whole lot of progress, but I've got the skin and I've got the leather, and now I'm going to start doing some of the clothing. I'm using the technique that Peter Lee taught me years ago, start from the inside out. So, the faces, the eyeballs, the faces, all that stuff. And then I'll wind up doing the washes and the dry brushing and highlights and all that afterwards and touch up. So
I gotta break out a couple of the orc models that we got from Tom, paint some band shirts on there like I said I would.
Yeah, you mentioned you were going to do that. You totally have to do like a Slayer.
That's the
shirt.
Plan. I'm going to do Slayer and Cannibal Corpse.
Nice.
Celebrate the, oh, now you want to come up, don't you, now that I've just picked you up?
Spoiled kitty.
Celebrate, the first crusade in the campaign at Misty. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've got some fun stuff planned for tonight.
You tell me about it.
I've got a
tell the viewers about it.
I've got a Black Templar's Contemptor Dreadnought here that I'm working on. Contemptor, I think that's it, yeah. Jeez, there's so many types of dreadnoughts now that I can't keep them straight.
Contemptuous?
So there's, this is not your standard box dreadnought. It's not the walking toaster on legs. But, it's really cool. I did a whole lot of kit bashing with this. There is, it's not going to pick up on camera, I can tell you that much, but maybe it will. Is today the lucky day? It is. So there is a really cool cannon that I put on his arm. It is somewhat custom made. I'm gonna play it as the assault cannon that they can use, but it looks a lot like the 4-barreled autocannon type thing from one of the other dreadnoughts, and I really love that gun, but they don't make it for this one, so I said, fuck it, I'll make it myself.
Kit bash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that, you're at the point where you're comfortable doing that, because you do some really cool conversions that way.
Thank you. So there's a whole lot of extra stuff on here. There's banners, there's shields, there's chains, there's reliquaries, purity seals, lanterns, candles, and books. The whole Black Templars thing.
It's like a walking library, effectively.
Yeah, it is.
Everything you need, from your illumination source to your illuminated manuscript.
And the second thing that I'm working on tonight is a flyer. I've got this really cool flyer that I started to paint for my Ultramarines army before I realized that I would never use it in my Ultramarines army because I've got an ungodly amount of units that I still haven't used so far in there. So I figured it would look really cool to repaint it for my Black Templars army. Which is a surprise to no one. I probably won't use it there either, but it'll look cool. So, gonna throw some base coats on there, repaint that, and then while that's drying, I'm gonna work on this dreadnought a bit. So,
excellent.
That's what I've got planned.
I'm gonna jump into it. I'm gonna get started here.
After I just use the fucking dreadnought to scrape little bits off my bench. Where is my... there it is. So back onto the topic of buying Warhammer things that we were talking about just a bit ago. You know what I surprisingly like a lot?
What's that?
They're brushes.
The GW brushes?
Yep.
Or Citadel brushes? Or whoever is responsible for making them now?
Yeah.
What do you like about them?
I've just had good experiences with them so far.
Are you still using the Masters? Do you use that at all? The brush cleaner that I got you?
I don't think I've opened it.
Oh my god.
I know.
You're dead to me.
Well, I keep saying like, okay, I'll get around to it. I'm gonna use it, and then I just rinse my brush off, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah. You should get in the habit of doing that. I've been doing that with mine, and again, it's both a cleaner and a conditioner. And I mean, like, I know the camera's not gonna see that, but it's amazing, like, how fine a point it helps keep on these brushes.
I've used this brush. This is their extra large base brush, which they I think recommend for vehicles. And I've used this thing to base coat a ton of vehicles, and look how nice it still is.
Yeah. Good bristles.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you do pay a little more, but it's good to have good.
It wasn't bad. It was about $4 for this brush, I think.
That's actually not bad at all.
That's about how much the Army Painter ones go for, which I also really like.
Yeah, you know me and my love for the Army Painter stuff.
Yeah. I really do like some of their stuff more than others. Like, I have had, and I know we've talked about it on stream, I have had incredibly mixed results with their paints. Some of them, like Necromancer Cloak and Stone Golem, I love. They are some of my favorite paints.
Yeah.
Just in general. And then some of them, like the reds, the oranges, all of that, they've been total shit.
Well, that's a real shame.
Yeah. So, in a weird way, it seems like all of the colors I've used that are more, like, vibrant colors have been bad, and all of the more, like, muted ones have been good, even if it's green. Like, I've used a couple of your greens, and what I've noticed is if it's like a camo green, like, you know, kind of a dark gray green.
Like a drab?
Yeah, like a drab, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. And then if you go into like the goblin flesh or whatever it's called, not the best.
Well...
So I wonder if it's something to do with their formula. for how they make them.
I would present that to you and ask you to inspect it, because that's Goblin Green. And, I mean, I did 2 thin coats.
Maybe I just didn't shake it up enough. I'll have to use your paints more and figure out if I like them.
Yeah, no, I don't think that should happen. Oh, I know I asked you about this before. See what he's holding in his hand? It's got like a snout, like a trunk, like an elephant. Is that a snoutling?
Looks like it because it's got a belly button.
Should I do it green or should I do it in a different color?
I'd go with a green, but like a pale green. You know?
Yeah.
Like
I've got.
Like
let's see.
I know it's gonna sound stupid because it's what it is, but like a snot green.
Jungle green is a nice one.
I guess I meant like
Kraken skin. That's a little more minty.
That's like a fresh green. That's what you see on gum brand that I'm not gonna mention.
Snake.
I was thinking more like this, like witch brew.
Oh, you're not kidding. You're talking like.
I'm talking yellow green.
Well, I got this too.
Yeah,
Poisonous Cloud.
Didn't see
That's
it.
a little more yellow.
The first one.
That's a little later than maybe I want to go.
Okay.
We'll try this one.
Now.
This is going to be one that's probably going to need to get mixed up with the mixer.
The way that I organize my bench. I don't know. Ah, there it is. I was going to say, I don't know where the fuck my palette knife is.
Dig your style, dude. There's just one thing. You have to curse so much. I'd love to have that sound drop. We're kind of screwed if we ever get affiliated or partnered. People will be like, do you have to swear so much? What the fuck you talking about, man? Yep, this is going to be one of those ones that's got to be super mixed.
Yep. How fun.
Well,
is this my...
I'm tempted to throw it on the mixer, but it's right by the mic.
Oh, I
so...
wouldn't. I would not. It is too loud.
Any heavy metal fans out there? They'll be used to it.
Speaking of heavy metal... Oh, Jesus, they nearly spilled that. What the fuck is happening with that? Look at this.
Whoa, wait, is there paint in there?
Guess so.
And you're
yeah,
doing that over your lap? Dude.
No, oh, there's no paint in here. I couldn't get any paint in there because look at this. That's what I was trying to show you. Oh, there it is. It just there's too much pressure in there.
Oh.
So pick that up off the ground so the cat doesn't eat it.
You know what that means? You're not cleaning them enough.
Can you hand me the what are they? The needle heads? Oh, they're right here.
Yeah, we moved them over there last time.
Yeah, I forgot about that because you're sick of me constantly asking. Can you? Oh, that's a very big needle. That's 25.
No, I'm not sick of you asking. It's just I know, we thought it would be easier to move over there.
I need a
because you use them a lot more than I do.
There we go. Oh, that's the other thing. We were talking a while back about a technique of like using these to pin wash, and just getting like a little teeny tiny amount of paint in there, and doing it like that. And
yeah,
about that, if you do decide to try that, and I probably should have like mentioned this, you know, closer to when we were talking about it. But if you do decide to try that, make sure you get a smaller one, like a 22 gauge needle, not a 25 gauge needle, because if you get the bigger ones, they can really screw your day up.
How so?
So,
for those who may be wondering,
I believe I've gotten the sizes right on those, but effectively a 22 gauge needle is a hell of a lot smaller than a 25 gauge. So with the 22 gauge needle, Sorry, I'm trying to mix this paint up real quick. With the 22 gauge needle, you'll be getting just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount coming out at the top of the needle that you can use to pin wash with. But if you're using a 25 gauge needle, a big like bead will come out, and that can overload the area. That can overload the like whatever you're trying to wash.
Got it.
So I've thinned that way too much. Oh, 2 coats. Oh, there was a color that I was using the other day, and I can't remember what it was. It was one of yours, and I wanted to say, like, this color is
Noticing a pattern here?
Yeah. I was gonna say, this color is really fucking good. Oh, I remember. It was the gunmetal. I was doing a comparison between that and the lead belcher that I got.
Okay.
And I thinned both of them out, put them on a mini, different minis, but I thinned them out, put them on different minis, and before I could actually get around to putting, what is it, gunmetal, I think yours is called?
Yeah.
Before I could get around to putting that on the mini, Mom called me away to do something. I can't remember what it was. It was like dishes or this or that. It was something, you know. And I went up and I did that, and then I got distracted, and then I checked my email.
You got distracted?
Yeah, I know, it's insane. And in the end, I just forgot to put it on the mini. So I came back down like an hour later and I was like, oh, fuck. I have completely forgotten about this. I just put a bead of this paint in here. I thinned it out and then I left. And I came back down, I sat down, and it was still thin. And it was still the same consistency, and I could put it on the mini, and it was like I hadn't left it sitting out at all. It was awesome.
And what was it in? Your palette or in that?
Yeah, it was just in the palette.
That's cool.
Thinned out with a bit of salami and medium. The lead belcher dried up almost completely, but that was just...
Thinned out with salami and what?
Salami and Armenians.
Capicola?
It's a paint, or it's not a paint, I suppose. It's called Lamium Medium.
Got it.
And it is the GW paint thinner.
Got it, but I swear to God it sounded like you said salami.
Yeah, that is what I said. You know, thin it out with salami Armenians.
Got it.
Anyway, so yeah, I was surprised. It just...
I know one word in Armenian.
Oh?
Yep.
You do? What word?
Yakpar. It means brother.
Huh. Why'd you know that?
Sue McPeak. Despite
Is that
having
like a Scottish insult?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I was going to say, despite having a, clearly not Armenian last name of McPeak, she was Armenian, and she was the best friend of a young woman I dated, and we were out drinking one night, and, most great stories start like that. So I was out drinking one night, and somehow or another, I don't know, I said something along that lines, and she said, "Oh my God, you just said a word in Armenian." I said, "Get the fuck right out." And she said, "No, I'm serious. Like, say that again." So I said it, and she said, "That's the Armenian word for brother." Growing up, claws on the leg. Hi, Zuzu. Hi, kitty.
She's like, you invite me in here, and you don't pet me, and you don't pick me up, and you don't do this, I'm gonna attack you.
I grew up in a really culturally diverse neighborhood in Detroit, not one of the suburbs, as I'm so fond of saying, because You have to understand. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're from Detroit. I'm from Detroit," and then when I ask them where from, they'll say, "Oh, Sterling Heights or like Madison
Yeah.
Heights or one of the suburbs." I'm like, "Oh, what about you?" And I'll say, "I'm actually from Detroit, like in Detroit in Southwest Detroit." But it was really, really culturally diverse there, and the neighborhood I lived in, back to the early turn of the century, was historically Hungarian, and they had a big gathering place. The Hungarian Village was this restaurant over there, and had been there for generations.
That's cool.
And then growing up, neighbor across the street from me, her grandson Abadis would stay there over the summer, and he's my age, and we used to hang out. And he was cool as fuck, man. Abadis Hagopian, and somewhere along the line, I met his cousins, Nikki, and I can't remember Nikki's sister's name. Awesome, awesome. And then they had asked somewhere along the line of our relationship and friendship, somebody found out my birthday was January 6th. And my friend Avadis made a joke. He's like, "You're the Armenian Messiah." And I'm like, "Why is that?" He's like, "Because that's like the Armenian Christmas." You want to talk about like when you know how like sometimes when you meet people, Deacon, and they just have a vibe, and you're like, I don't even know this person, but I like them.
Yeah.
Like they've got that just absolutely approachable personality. That was my buddy Avadis. I wish you could meet him.
That's cool.
I hope the best for him. I hope he's out there. I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him since probably my 20s, right before I moved out of Detroit. He was long gone by then, but he'd come back now and then to visit his grandmother.
That's nice.
Look at a needy little kitty down there.
We do. She is just yapping up a storm down there.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Hi, sweetie pie. What are you doing down there? She's like, "I'm trying to get your attention, motherfucker." Oh my god. Chatty cat. Come here. Come here. Come here. I can't bend all the way down there. You're going to have to reach up. Come on. Reach up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's purring. Oh no, no, don't need a face bath. She's purring like crazy. Say hi to the viewers over there. Look at what's over there. What's over there? Oh, you're such a sweetheart. I cannot let you up on the bench. You know that, right?
I think she knows. I don't think she cares.
Oh, damn. You're painting the whole thing black?
Mm-hmm.
Over that whole paint job you had over already?
I'd hardly call it a paint job that I had over it already.
It was a paint job.
It had blue, like one coat of blue from a spray can, and a little bit of red in some places.
Okay, Zuzu. That's a good girl. I'm going to put you down, okay? Ready? Here you go. There you go. Hopefully that'll
Yeah.
keep her satisfied for a little while.
The next, I'd say 5 minutes, maybe. Then she'll come back. I can see this. I can see the bottom of my food bowl in the center where I've pushed everything else aside.
Right. I actually changed the words to 9 Inch Nails' Head Like a Hole to fill up my bowl. There is a hole. I'd rather die than stare at that hole.
Well, that definitely sounds like her.
Well, I mean, it's true too, because you know the next line in that is like, what? Bow down before the one you serve. That's cats, 100%. All right. Chainmail. What do you think I should do? There are a couple of these. There are 2 of them. So yeah, a couple of them that have wraps. Oops, on the boots like this. Look at his when you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm debating on going lighter in a dark wash or going darker in a darker wash.
I would say lighter, like almost like a bone color, like not bleached bone, like not that light, but kind of like a dusty bone color, brown wash,
Dusty bone color.
and then
Sounds like a designer color.
dry brush, something like that. Like, did I show you Xandri dust? Do you have that?
I don't. That's a nice color.
It is a nice color.
Let's see. What
So
do I
something like that.
have? Do you? I gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any of my paints over there?
I have. None. In fact, the only army painter... I have 2 army painter ones, but they're the purple and the red tone that you gave me a while back.
That's too much yellow. I'll tell you where I have a huge gap in colors like is tans.
Yeah, I was
Army Painter has these weird, like
like all the stuff that's like almost tan, but not quite there.
Yeah, there's too much yellow in it, or there's too much dark brown in it. I mean, I've got Hobby. Oh, that's bad. Look at the separation on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, on one of my various ransackings of your paint selection, I was noticing, man, they really don't have any good tans.
No, and you know, I bought some craft paints. Let me shut this off so I don't kill the battery.
That's a good idea.
I bought some craft paints, but
it's craft paint.
That's right. That's the problem. Like that light over there. It's too light. Too caramelly. Actually, let me hold on to that just for a second. I'm gonna try to mix up.
You can just use a bit of that if you want.
Well, okay, I appreciate it. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to get into the habit of like, hey, can I borrow that? You know, if I can mix it, that would be really cool.
I mean, as long as you're not going to use the whole thing, because I am running a bit low on it.
No,
but
of course
like,
not.
Figure it's only.
I'll leave you a drop.
Yeah, it's only what, like the boots on 2 goblins. It's not that bad. I don't think you need to thin it, by the way. It looks kind of thick, but it's really good.
So you're going to be starting school pretty soon, huh?
Monday.
Wow.
It's a little crazy to think about.
So we went to your orientation. What was the what thing? What did you come away with that surprised you the most?
I'm not really sure.
They covered a lot.
They did, yeah. I guess just the range of services that they provide for students.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, calm down, Zuzu. You'll be okay. The way she's meowing, she's starting to sound a little like Chewbacca. Yeah, we're talking about you, Zuzu.
Meow.
Hey, no.
What's she doing?
Good question. She's eating something, and it's like this close to the bench.
Hey! So... Hey there, Lawrence Chesterton.
Put Zuzu on camera? Alright.
We just had her up there a moment ago.
Zuzu!
Give us...
Come on,
Give
Zuzu.
us just a second here. Zuzu, where's Deacon? What's Deacon doing over there?
Come on. Come on. Over this way. Whoa. Showing up there?
Yeah.
What's that?
There's a little bit of a delay, I think.
What's that? Look at... Oh, hi.
There's a lot of a delay over there.
Hi.
That's the Nerd Nest.
That's not go.
That's the Nerd Nest mascot, Zuzu. Zuzu.
Hi. This is very uncomfortable, you know.
She just wants some attention.
Oh, no.
She wants to make out with you. Like...
Are you just gonna make me hold you like this? For the... What time is it?
It's 10 to 10.
You gonna make me hold you like this for the next 10 minutes?
This week on a very special episode of Black Dragon Tavern.
What if I move like that? No? Okay. What are you... No. I'm being blocked out. I'm being replaced. This is your new co-host.
Let's do a poll. How many people want to see Zuzu replace Deacon as a co-host?
No, Susan, no. Okay, I gotta set you down. This is possibly the most uncomfortable way of sitting.
Oh, hi, sweetheart.
Every time I try to move my hands.
That is funny. If I didn't have the stream pulled up on my phone,
what are you doing? Please
actually snap
stop.
a picture of that. That is actually one of the funniest postures I've seen her sit in.
She's like a little fucking rabid squirrel.
Like a rabid squirrel?
I'm sorry. No, stop. Don't bite me.
They're love bites. She loves you.
Okay, I'm gonna... Ooh, got your belly. I'm
like,
gonna set you down now.
You called me a rabid squirrel. Arr. Snap.
Alright, ow, fuck. Alright, I see how it is. Down we go. There's the cat cam for the evening.
Gonna have a human cat wrestling match here in a minute, the way you two were going at it.
I can't paint for the rest of the evening now, so that's fun.
Why,
hands
your hands
just
full of
covered
cat slobber?
Yep. No, well, they're cat fur. Just covered in cat fur.
Huh.
Gonna get, like, hair all over the minis. So
you know what I was thinking? Like, I remember we talked about this before, and, you know, I'm Johnny on the spot with a solution for stuff, right? So, I was thinking it might be kind of cool to get a little tub of baby wipes.
bleach.
Keep them in here.
Dip your hands in.
No, you don't want to put the bleach wipes on your hands.
Bleach wipes? No, I'm talking about just like a tub of bleach.
Yeah, no. You don't want to bleach your skin. But the baby wipes, though, that would be good because then they're moist. They're critical for washing your hands. They're,
I see what you did there.
They got, gentle. And they probably get the cat hair right off your hands.
Yeah. Oh man, I thought of repainting it in this color last minute, and I've just realized I should have put more thought into it, and I really should have fucking spray primed it. Because, oh my god, the amount of little tiny areas in there.
Luke fucking Skywalker. That's what I'm going to rename this color. That's what this reminds me of.
Oh, his lightsaber?
No, the Xandri dust.
Oh, his robes?
Yeah, like, it's just, like...
It's a really nice color, isn't it?
It is, and I'm super jealous. Like, I don't understand why, like... Now, okay, Vallejo, I can understand. They've got model colors and they've got game colors. And the model colors are going to be more like this. They're going to have these...
drab,
earthy, natural, neutral colors. And yes, I did say natural, neutral. Natural, like earth and,
neutral, like neutral.
Yeah.
But they do have fantasy color as well, which has a lot
game
of
colors.
Game
right.
color, yeah. Keep getting them mixed up.
And those hues are much more vibrant overall. And there's some really wonderful stuff there. But, I mean, that's like par for the course for paints. Most paint lines, they've got their paints for model enthusiasts who historically have been nerds who build tanks, ships, boats,
and all
dioramas.
the things that require less vibrant color.
Yep, and then you've got the gamers who are more into the fantasy stuff.
And require purple for their genetically augmented superhumans.
Right, or butt stallion. The rainbow farting unicorn. Which is in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Due out 2022, I think. We did talk about that on
We
stream
did.
a couple episodes ago, so check out the Discord server for links on that. But yeah, so that's I wholeheartedly agree that would be one of my major complaints with the Army Painter line is that they're sorely lacking in
color.
That midsection of browns, the tans. They really need to up their game on that.
Yeah, they have a really high amount of like purples and pinks, which is a bit surprising. Not like super surprising, but the fact that they have so many different shades of purple and pink, but no just tan, really does surprise me.
What about gray? They have like 50 shades of gray.
In their defense,
dad jokes for the win.
all of their grays are really nice.
They are really good coverage.
No, I meant just like the colors in general that they do for them. I keep finding areas on here where I'm like, okay, I'll do this section, then I'll move on to this other section, and then I come back and it's like, oh, I missed the whatever detail that's like on the back of this panel underneath the model from the behind, and then rotated
Monster for
3 times sideways, you know? It's like all these tiny little areas that just keep popping up.
You know what I think I need to do before the next stream, before next time we do from the Workbench?
Just pick
have
your
to go-
colors and then pick them out. Shake them
no.
beforehand.
Well, yeah, agitate them beforehand because a lot of these I can tell they haven't been touched in a while and they're separating.
Yeah.
It's okay when I start working on them, but initially they're pretty stodgy and dodgy. That's not the right brush for that, I'm thinking. Totally ruin that tip if I do that. Again, this is twice tonight I've mentioned this product. I don't get any kickbacks from this. I'm not affiliated with the company in any way, but if you're a painter, if you're a mini painter and you're watching this, or if you're getting into the hobby, novice, I highly recommend the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. This is a really good product. Really gentle on the brushes. Acts as both like a detergent or shampoo to clean the brush and as a conditioner. And it helps keep the bristles nice and soft. Helps maintain the points. Now, where's the one that I just covered up? Yeah, there we go. Getting close to hitting the top of the hour here. So if you're out there watching and lurking or whatever, thanks for tuning in. We do this every Friday night and Saturday night from 8 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central. We hope that you tune in tomorrow night and watch. We're going to be playing Lord of the Fries from the Battle Zone.
Yeah.
We'll have a special guest, as I mentioned earlier.
And it's not the cat.
Yeah, she might have to stay out for that.
Yeah.
I could see her jumping on the table.
I have a feeling that she will be getting it.
And if you're just tuning in to watch the VOD later, welcome. Try to catch us live. We hope you'll follow the channel.
Yeah.
support us as we try to build our Twitch community.
If you donate $5, we can get a cat bed and a little camera. Go over there, hook that up. Just have a cat cam constantly on stream.
That would be kind of cool. But I'd be really torn because we promised people we were talking about doing garbage cam first.
Yeah. Ow! Oh! Ow! Ow! Let go of me!
She clawing your feet.
Monster! She is hooked onto them. Look at this. Look at this rabid beast.
Maybe she thinks there's some cheese down there. You washing them dogs?
Let go.
She really is. She's really.
Ow. Ow. Fuck.
She's clawed onto that sock like she's hanging on for life.
It's not helpful. That's not helpful, Zuzu. I managed to unclaw one of them, and while I was doing that, she reached for the other.
She says, I'm a cat. I'm not supposed to be helpful.
I'm supposed to be ruining all of your plans, bringing destruction to you. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, you little crazy thing?
She is a sweetie.
We should call it soon. It's about 57. I gotta get up early tomorrow. 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Fucking sucks, but...
Why is that?
Going to Orton Front.
Oh, that's right. You're going to a little festival.
Yeah.
Be safe. Have fun.
I will.
Just take some pictures. Maybe put them up on the Instagram. We haven't updated Instagram in a while.
No, we haven't. I've been meaning to take pictures of all the cool stuff I've been painting, but that doesn't happen. So
yeah, I see a vote coming up.
Hmm?
Cast your vote now on Black Dragon Tavern. Who should we have as a co-host? Zuzu or Deacon?
What do you think, Zoo? I don't think she'd be able to stay in one spot long enough. She'd be running in circles around the camera by the first 30 seconds.
I can get some cat tranquilizers.
Oh, God.
No, I wouldn't do that. Let me get this boot painted here and then we can wrap up the show.
We're wrapping for the end of the show?
That's right.
Here.
1, 2, 1, 2 in the place to be. Black Dragon Tavern with D&D.
Bringing Zuzu on for the end bit here.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
I might not let her on because she's trying to climb onto the bench.
Yeah, that's a big challenge.
Like a guitar.
Yeah, I know what I said. Let me paint. No, I'm cleaning the brush, but you know.
Yeah, you get a
Good equipment maintenance. I let this go.
God, I can't talk today. Keep them clean.
So thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
This has been Black Dragon Tavern, episode 13, with your host Dante.
And I'm Deacon.
And tune in again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And we'll hope to see you then. If not, we'll see you next week.
Lucky
Thanks.
episode 13 with a black cat.
Oh,
Who's
black
just
cat.
insisting on climbing everywhere.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna stand
We'll
up.
see you. Bye-bye.